to the Femina X Grazia Virtual Beauty Carnival. I'm Ruchika Mehta, the editor of Femina magazine, and today it's my honor and privilege to be chatting with one of my favorites, as well as the Indian makeup and beauty industry's most prominent and formidable names, Mickey Contractor. Hi, Mickey.
Hello, how are you, Ruchika?
Very well, thank you. Lovely to connect with you again after months and months after everybody's been in hibernation. It's such a pleasure meeting you and seeing you in person.
Thank you, Ruchika. Same here, same here.
Hope you've been well and safe, and thank you for taking time out to be with us today.
Absolutely.
So just to introduce all our viewers out there, Mickey Contractor is a name nobody needs introduction, but I have to do my formalities. So here he is. Mickey is one of Indian beauty industry's most sought after names, respected of course, but also the most sought after names. He has introduced makeup like nobody else did before. In India, Mickey is also every celebrity's first choice and favorite, though he picks who he wants to do makeup on. That's what we love about you, Mickey.
Thank you.
So let me start by saying you have always been a man who went by what you want to do. Like I always say, you are the unconventional makeup artist the world has seen. You wouldn't go by the name, but you would go with what you think is right. How does that work in this glamorous and this very volatile industry?
Well, I mean, quite honestly, it's just very, very basic. I mean, I have never wanted to follow. I've always wanted to lead.
Right.
So, I mean, I've always believed that I want to do what I want to do, because everybody else is doing the rest.
Absolutely.
So that's as simple as that.
And that brings me to my next question to say that, again, you were the unconventional man who never followed trends. There were nothing called beauty trends for you. You would go look at the face, pick up your brushes and take off. How did you kind of stay away from the trends? Because everybody thought you have to follow a trend. How did you kind of stay away from that?
See, my simple logic is that every face is different, and you want to try and bring out the best in each face. Right. So, when you look at trends, when you read about the new trends that keep coming every 6 months, you sort of just pick a few things here and there and say, okay, so this is the color that is trending right now. So maybe in my next project, But the point is, I'm basically a film makeup artist. So trends don't apply to me, because we more or less do character makeup, right? Also, in the Hindi film industry, basic requirement is glamour.
Absolutely.
So as long as the girls...
Screen presence and glamour.
Yeah, as long as they're looking the part and they're looking beautiful in every frame, that's my job done. Coming to following trends, I'd just say that trends happen and they don't necessarily always work for us. I mean, what is happening in New York or what is happening in the UK or wherever else, it does not necessarily apply to the Indian woman.
Absolutely. That's true.
The kind of colors they use, but they're white skin. So, I mean, their colors are different. Colors can be different for us. So why not make our own trends and follow them?
Absolutely. In fact, I think this is one thing that India is now awakening to. We Indians are awakening to that you have to follow your skin, your culture, your ecosystem and your environment, So rather than just picking up what a model of a Mac model is wearing doesn't mean that you have to wear the same shade, which I think you, Mickey, were very instrumental in bringing this awakening out that is go by your skin. Don't go by the color that somebody else is making, wearing and looking good. And I think that we owe that to you as well.
Yeah, but strange that you mentioned MAC, because I mean, I was with the brand for 11 years.
Yeah.
And with the grace of God, I mean, they thought that I deserved the honor to actually come up with a collection. Also, just make the kind of foundation colors that work for Indian skin tones.
Amazing. I mean, that's a huge honor also as an Indian that, you could be on that global platform and bring it back to India. That was a huge one as well.
Considering MAC is a brand which, any makeup artist in the world would have endorsed.
Absolutely. It's something that you've always wanted to be part of in life. And I think this is amazing that you could so beautifully follow your heart on that. And then we were honored to have you on the board of MAC. Mickey, something that bothers somebody like you and me who've been in the industry for over 20, 25 years, you maybe more, but we are the traditional ones. 40,
2 years.
42 years. Oh my God. I'm not going to say how long I've been there. Then I'm almost half of what you've been there. But, we are still the traditional ones who follow the traditional path in our own professionals. This onslaught of Instagram makeup artists, this onslaught of all this couch of millions of Instagram posts being flooded in your face, these influencers, these bloggers, this little bubble of Instagram newbies which has come out. I mean, I want to hear from you, from your heart.
Might end up offending a few people. So, I mean, okay, let's say it this way. This new trend on Instagram where people are just putting on layers and layers and layers of makeup. Who wears that kind of makeup?
True.
I mean, I worry, if the model decides to sneeze, everything will just fall off in one shot. So, I mean, look, like my whole funda in life is to keep things simple.
Yes.
The lesser you use and you optimize that little bit, that is how you come up with a great, clean, nice look. I mean, women wear makeup to look better and to give themselves some confidence, or say, just look the best of themselves,
Absolutely.
You don't need so much stuff. I mean, how many products are you going to buy? It's all going to rot away, because just use those basic things here. I mean, just
to highlight your face, just to highlight parts of your face.
And sticking tape here and putting this there and taking an egg and taking this and blending makeup. I mean, all this is all... I mean, it's fine for people who want to do it. It's like,
right.
For me, this is all time pass. I mean, I look at it and I say, yeah, right. And then move on to the next. But...
and what do we do about those 8 different shades which come up in one small eyelid? Suddenly, I mean, what do you do to the green and the pink and the orange which is popping out of there? And
it's a peacock dance.
Tiny little eyelid who's being barraged by shades and shades and shades.
I think it's also, sometimes I think it's driven by cosmetic companies who want to, kind of flaunt their products or whatever you may call it. But I mean, to each their own. Let's put it this way, to each their own.
Everybody has to find their own piece. And their own look.
People are getting misguided. That is my problem.
Right. Mickey, one thing which everybody wants to hear and know is this new trend about the South Korean beauty products, skincare and beauty products. I mean, suddenly the South Korean market, I'm sure you've also been kind of experiencing this, has kind of boomeranged with makeup and
I'll be very honest with you. I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have not tried much of it.
Okay.
Maybe 1 or 2 things with my daughter. Actually, she keeps trying to get some stuff online, and then she'll say, "Dad, have you seen this? Have you tried that?" But I already have, with the grace of God, so much makeup. I don't need to add more. I mean, I'll try for the sake of trying. Maybe something might just kind of blow my mind. But I mean, nothing yet from what I've seen. So
also the same thing that. The same problem again. South Korean skin is so different from our skin. That's pale yellow. And we are wheatish or brown. So I don't know, how does that kind of plaster on our face?
It's not just their products, even their tools. Some of their tools are really nice,
Yeah, they've become very popular.
Like I said, nothing yet has blown my mind. So I mean, I'm not about to change yet.
Right. So that's all about Mickey and his, of course, the beautiful things that we want to hear about what he is. But what I do want to do with Mickey before we kind of wind this up is ask him to bust some ancient, or rather some traditional makeup myths which have been haunting us. I'm not going to say which have been around, but I'll say something which has been haunting us for years, and we still don't have the right answers to that. Mickey, so 3-4 of those makeup myths which only you will say is a right or wrong.
That is just going to be my opinion, okay? I mean, those...
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
This is, with Mickey, everybody out there needs to know, he says it as it is. So all of you need to know that first. And that's why we love you, Mickey. That's why we love you. And that's what we love about you. Great. Okay, so the first one, which everybody's not, the makeup companies are not going to be happy hearing this. Makeup is bad for your skin and leads to skin aging.
What rubbish.
They're going to hate us about this.
What rubbish. That's complete nonsense. I think, in fact, maybe a good foundation will protect your skin from pollution and stuff like that. We've been using makeup for so many years. I haven't seen anybody's skin aging or crap. Nonsense.
So guys, that's nonsense. Go out and look your best. Do what you can to make yourself look good. Pumping your mascara will make application of the product easier. Just keep pumping it up.
No, just a lot of people do that with their mascara tube. I mean, basically what that is just adding more air to it. And which means that, you're facilitating it to get dry much quicker.
Absolutely, because you're letting more air in.
Also, I think women are trying to maximize whatever they can through that tube. What I would say is that if it's kind of slightly drying up, just take a hot glass of water, just plunk that tube in.
Brush?
No, not the brush. The entire tube with the cap on.
Oh, okay.
Just plunk it in hot water and a little bit of it will melt and your mascara will be as good as new again.
Oh, lovely. That's a good trick, guys. So here are some, these are not myths, but he's giving us some very, very critical tricks here. Very, very valuable tricks, rather. There is no need to wash makeup brushes if you're the only one using them. I don't think we are in a habit of washing our brushes at all. They could be lying there for years and we pick them up and use them again.
You're talking about your personal set of brushes.
Yeah, your personal set of brushes. Is it important to wash brushes?
Of course. I mean, wash or cleanse or whatever. Because, I mean, see, usually you start by using moisturizer. Then you're using foundation over it. So what you're doing generally is just the brush itself is getting a lot of moisturizer on it. And it's kind of coating the fibers more and more every time you use it.
Right.
And it also breeds bacteria and
dust.
Not just foundation brushes, but I'm saying even eyeshadows. I mean, you want to probably use the same brush for 3 different shades.
Right.
So, layering and stuff like that. So, I mean, you need to cleanse your brush. I mean,
and how do you do it? What's the best way to cleanse your brushes?
Just need a brush cleanser. It's so easily available in the market these days. Okay. So, mainly it's for hygiene's sake. Secondly, you want a nice clean finish. You need to have clean brushes.
Right. Okay. Can moisturizer be used as a primer? Can a moisturizer be used as a primer?
No.
No. Yeah.
Moisturizer is a moisturizer. A primer is a primer.
There you go.
I'm not much of a primer fan though.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't like to layer too many things on the skin before I start makeup. So I'm not much of a primer fan. Also because I've tried primers a couple of times and they kind of somehow have oxidized the makeup much quicker. Mm-hmm. So the skin tone tends to change after a little while, which I don't think I'm willing to take the risk for.
With the primer is what you're saying.
So, I mean, to each their own. A lot of makeup artists swear by primers. I don't, but I swear by good moisturizers. I mean, prepping the skin for me is very important. So my moisturizing has to be done right. I take a lot of time to prep the skin. And also, as far as, again, my job is concerned, I'm always there to touch up the makeup and make sure that it kind of lasts long. So I don't need a primer.
Wow. Yeah. Now, one of the most popular myths, one of the most common myths. So red lipstick only suits fair complexion.
Just because you're wearing a red lipstick today, that's why you're asking me this question.
My ruby woo, it's a ruby woo, I swear by it.
I love that color. Anyway,
that's the only one I've used. I've grown up. I don't possess another red color in my entire makeup. Ruby woo is all I own.
I'll tell you what. See, this comes to me quite a lot. This about not everybody can wear a red lipstick, which is not true. Most people can wear a red lipstick. I would say 95% people can wear red, as long as you wear the right red. What is important is that you wear the lipstick before you buy it. You try it on, and make sure that the undertone of the red lipstick is correct for you.
Right, undertone. Okay. So when you say undertone means that
Like for example, whether it has an orange undertone, whether does it have like a purpley blue undertone, whether it has like a, yeah. So the darker the skin, the darker the red looks better. I mean, the lighter reds don't look so good on dark skins. It makes your skin look even darker.
That's a very critical point. Another one is you can skip sunscreen if your foundation has SPF. Should you be wearing sunscreen normally for your skin and your makeup?
Again, same issue with sunscreen as well now. Now, in fact, we have managed to find 1 or 2 sunscreens that don't change the tone of makeup. But initially, when first sunscreen started to come into the market, every time we used the sunscreen, the makeup tended to look a little chalkier, whiter. So I used to avoid using sunscreen. But nowadays, there are very light sunscreens too.
Right. They used to be very heavy earlier.
And I feel that sunscreen underneath your makeup, if it works for you, there's no harm in using, even if your foundation has SPF.
Awesome on that. So I was coming to the foundation question on foundation, but you have already answered that. A single foundation does not match your skin. Every foundation, you need different shades. I mean, every skin needs a different shade of foundation, but you already answered that question earlier.
Yeah, it's like there are a couple of things about foundation. Like, there are a lot of people who try foundation when they go to a store, but they try it in the wrong places. I mean, they'll try to match their foundation on their wrist.
Yes.
Try to match their foundation on some part here. I mean, just try it on the place where you're going to use it.
Right.
If you're going to put your foundation on your face, just do it on your face and see. And the best thing to do is just carry the mirror, go out in sunlight and see if
see it in daylight.
Your skin. Yes.
It's
because
daylight.
What looks good and right in daylight only looks better in artificial light.
Good point out there. Good point out there. And my last one, Mickey, you are the master of smoky eyes. You introduced the more smoky eyes into India and made everybody look ethereal with just those eyes. You didn't need anything else on the face. Give us that one secret on how to get the perfect smoky eye. It will never get it the way Mickey does. But is there anything the girls who always wanted Mickey's smoky eyes, what should they do?
See, I'll tell you, smoky eye basically means that there should be no sharp lines.
There you go. So they're blurred. They're not blended and blurred.
That's right. So there should be all blurred lines. There should be nothing sharp.
No eyeliner then?
No, you can use an eyeliner, but blend it away into the shadow.
Blend it away into the shadow.
Yeah. And what most people feel that, if I've done a smoky eye, I don't need to curl my lashes and wear mascara. That is wrong. According to me, most important for me is curl lashes and mascara because that is what pops the eye even further. Because when you use kajal inside the eye, it tends to make it slightly narrower.
That's right. It cringes.
Yeah. So therefore, to compensate that, just curl your lashes nicely and just put 2 coats of mascara and again it comes back to normal.
So of course, that was my last, but your curling and mascara has come. So should you always curl your lashes before putting mascara?
I think every woman should curl her lashes, irrespective of whether she wears mascara or not. Just curling lashes just changes the whole look of the eye. It just opens it up and it just looks fresher and somehow I'm a big fan of curling lashes.
I am rushing right out after this to get my curler. I don't possess one. Shame on me after hearing this. Well, thank you so much, Mickey. I have been enlightened and enriched today. My makeup, my entire makeup fundas have changed. I am going red. Thank you. You said Ruby Woo is a great shade. My color is coming back. My mascaras don't need to be pumped like I do all the time. Dum, 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 dum. It's not going to happen anymore. And I am going to go in the daylight and try my foundation shades.
You must.
On that note, thank you so much for being so valuable to us, Mickey. You have always been an inspiration to everybody around. You, once again, a big thank you. Enjoy it, and I'm going to stay safe. Look forward to seeing you soon and look forward to seeing many more beautiful faces on the screen and in the magazine pages done by our favorite and gorgeous Mickey Contractor.
Thank you, Ruchika. Thank you.
Lovely chatting with you. Stay safe. See you soon.